Today we're talking about something pretty terrifying. It's not just an illness. It's more like a civil war that breaks out inside your own body. We're diving into septic shock, a condition where the very system that's supposed to protect you suddenly becomes your most dangerous enemy.
I mean, think about that for a second. Your immune system is this incredible personal army, right? It's on guard 24/7, fighting off all kinds of invaders. But what happens when that army gets confused, goes rogue, and starts attacking everything, including you? Well, that's exactly what we're going to unpack.
So, let's put a definition on it. At its heart, septic shock is a massive medical emergency. It all kicks off with an infection that gets out of control and spreads everywhere. This triggers such an overwhelming response that your circulatory system, the superhighway that delivers oxygen all over your body, it just fails. And when that happens, your tissues and organs start starving for oxygen, and that's when they begin to shut down.
So how in the world does a defense mechanism turn into an absolute disaster? Let's get into the play-by-play of what's happening inside, because it's really this devastating cascade of biological-friendly fire.
It almost always starts with a single trigger. And usually the culprits are a specific type of bacteria, gram-negative bacteria. When these little guys get into your system, they start releasing these things called endotoxins. You could think of those toxins as the single match that's about to be dropped into a forest, ready to ignite a massive, out-of-control wildfire.
And that's when the chain reaction begins. See, it might start small, just a little localized infection somewhere, but then those endotoxins I mentioned leak into the bloodstream. In the immune system, it doesn't just send a few soldiers to check it out. No, it panics. It deploys the entire army all at once. And this huge, chaotic response causes inflammation everywhere, damaging not just the bacteria, but your own blood vessels, your own organs.
And what's really wild is you can almost see the battle unfold in two distinct stages. The first is sometimes called hot shock. This is when the body is fighting with everything it's got, trying to compensate. The skin actually feels warm because the blood vessels have opened up. But if that battle starts to be lost, the body slips into the cold shock stage. And this is where things get really bad. The skin turns cold, clammy, and that's a terrifying sign that the whole circulatory system is starting to give up.
This is when the dominoes really start to fall, one after another. This isn't just one problem in one place. It's a cascade of total system failure. Your blood stops clotting properly. The body's delicate chemical balance gets thrown completely out of whack. And then the major organs, the kidneys, the lungs, the liver, they're all under attack. It is just widespread metabolic chaos.
Okay, we've talked about the chaos on the inside, but what does this look like from the outside? How can anyone actually spot the clues that this dangerous process is kicking off?
And here's the tricky part. The first signs can look like 100 other things. Feeling agitated, breathing fast, muscle aches, vomiting. That could just be a bad flu, right? But when it's happening alongside an infection that's getting worse, these are massive red flags. And then you have the more serious clues, like not producing much urine, the skin starting to look yellowish, or even tiny pinpoint bleeds under the skin.
What makes this so incredibly difficult to diagnose quickly is that the original infection can be hiding almost anywhere in the body. It could be pneumonia in the lungs, a nasty kidney infection, or a hidden abscess in the liver or even the brain. The fire, so to speak, can start in any room of the house, which makes it that much harder to find.
So when doctors suspect this is happening, they're in a race to prove it. They'll take blood cultures, trying to grow and identify the exact bacteria causing all the trouble. They'll run blood tests that will almost certainly show a sky-high white blood cell count. That's the immune army on full alert. And they'll see key inflammation markers, like C-reactive protein, just off the charts.
And all of this brings us to the most important part of this whole story, the absolute desperate race against time. Because with septic shock, we're not talking about days or even hours. Every single minute matters.
The source material we're looking at is incredibly direct about this, and it's important to just let this statement sink in. Without immediate, aggressive, emergency treatment, the outcome is death. There's no way to sugarcoat that. You cannot wait this out.
But, and this is a really, really big but, there is absolutely hope. If a person can get into intensive care fast and doctors can start treatment right away, they can turn the tide. Survival is possible, but it is 100% dependent on speed.
So what is the biggest takeaway here? Honestly, it's prevention. It all starts with this simple stuff, like really good hygiene, especially in places like hospitals. But most importantly, it means you have to take every bacterial infection seriously. That means finishing your entire prescription of antibiotics. And it means never, ever ignoring an infection that feels like it's getting worse instead of better. That's how you stop this civil war before it even begins.
And that's where we'll leave it. Everything we've gone over today, all the complex biology, it all boils down to that one thing: time. The difference between survival and the alternative is all about recognizing the danger and acting fast. So now that you know a little bit more, the real question is, do you think you could spot the signs in time?